Hello everybody, finally I have Kina in these pants. They're not done yet, but here is part 2 for you, which I've been agonizing over for days now. Now remember, you'll need to watch the other Macrame Pants short video that I put up a few months ago where I turned it into a cape, and on my last Elle on the Moon podcast, which is episode 15, I update on the pants. I show you like 2 minutes of how I turned it from it being a cape back into these pants. It is important to note that if you work this item, work on these pants on your dress form, or if you work on them like on an Ikea stand where you're standing, like I showed in the first video, which should be linked in the playlist. Basically, you wouldn't have this part in the middle that I'm putting together right now, as you can see. Because I gave up on this before, I got really bored with it because it's a lot of knotting and so many hours of work. It was already 6 hours to get to this point, which isn't a very good usage of time if you're trying to resell or if you're trying to make something for yourself. What I'm basically trying to say is that if you're in the business of macrame, making macrame clothing to resell, if you have an Etsy or if you have a site, I know a lot of people are not United States or Canadian, so you don't have Etsy, but wherever marketplace you're trying to resell on, this will take you a lot of time and it won't result in a lot of money. So when you're thinking about doing your macrame clothing business, or if you're going to markets or flea markets, or you're selling your wares and your creations, just think about how much time something takes and whether that really is going to make you the most amount of money. You really do have to capitalize on things. And that's why I don't make macrame clothing to sell really much anymore. Every once in a while I'll throw up a sample of something that I've shown you all how to make and sell it. But those are just samples. At any rate, if you have a lot of people that are willing to macrame with you, if you have like a whole macrame knot and crew, then you're good to go. But it's just me here in little old Kentucky for the moment. And I'm just glad to share the patterns with you. Now for this one, I'm actually going to do the written pattern and put it on my blog in a couple of days. So if you don't have enough information and you want to make a pair of your own macrame pants, trust that by next Tuesday, hopefully, or Wednesday, I will have the written pattern up, and so you can reference that. You'll have to use a translation if you need it translated to Portuguese or Spanish or Italian or French or whatever language anyone is watching these videos in. Dutch. I've had a couple Dutch people. So there you have it. Right now I'm just doing left hand square knots to basically put it all together. I'm doing an inverted triangle. I attached some pieces onto the sides here. I mentioned that in episode 15 of the Elle on the Moon podcast. I had an insert of what I did to bring these together. So basically I added some Bernat Dec Maker yarn into the skip ones from when it was a cape. So you won't have this issue if you just keep working in around, if you have it on your dress form, if you have it hanging up flat or on a macrame board, which would be hard to work this on a macrame board in my opinion. It can be done though, but you can just work in around if you have it on a dress form or on a mannequin like I do. And you won't have this gap in the middle, so you can just keep continuously working the knots and not have to work backwards like I am now. But maybe it gives it kind of a cute little effect. It gives you a little peekaboo where your lower belly is. Speeding this part up because I just work on this very laboriously for quite a while, and things take a while to upload, so I have to have the videos be shorter at times. So just watch the sped up portion, and then I talk some more as I show you how to do the middle, the crotch area. The item inside out, and I'm going to do a double half hitch seam on both sides of the crotch area. You'll see later on in this video that even though I do all of this line of double half hitches on both the front and the back in the crotch area, I'm not really into the way that it's bulky down below. It's kind of chunky. I don't like it. So I end up taking a piece of fabric and doing a machine sew. I basically cut this part out. But if you don't have a machine to sew with, or you don't want to hand sew, if you want it to be all no sew, then you can do it this method. There's also a way that you can just, oops, I think a bug just fell on me. There's also a way where you can just add the two sides of the crotch together and do a row of square knots and then cut the excess off. I will show that sometime in the future. I am not doing that method right now, but that can also put the two parts together. Just one row or two rows of square knots with the both back and front pieces right sides together. All right, so I have a seam that I can work with to do a stitch around, a ladder stitch around with an embroidery needle and a piece of yarn. I basically put right sides together and do a little ladder stitch back and forth around, and then I cut it down, cut the bulkiness of the yarn down, the remnants. But guess what? You'll see very soon that I decide to do fabric instead. I just didn't like how bulky it ended up, excuse me. All right, so I undid the previous stitching and I did a machine sew on a zigzag stitch since this is stretchy. I didn't like the way how bulky it is with the macrame. And if you've seen my shorts video, you can see how it's done, or you could look at previous, but now I'm gonna need to add some more pieces in between where we skipped stitches to at the beginning, and then we alternated working all of them. Gosh, my hands are dry. But so we're gonna go back in and I'm gonna add some so we can start doing the leg a little bit around here, and then I'm gonna leave a lot of it open because I don't have enough yarn of this kind, and I actually don't feel like doing all that work as I've mentioned before. So let's see. Let me go get some more. We're real close to where I added the liner for the crotch. now. So you see that. And a lot of this, like this, you won't even see because it's underneath, and you can see the white stitching because I didn't put in any black because I knew I was doing a video. All right, now I'm going to go to the other side, add in pieces in these where we skipped 2 stitches at the beginning on this side, and then we can start working in the round.